Okay, we had a question about what happens when you're trying to join census data to natural Earth data. So this is a bit of a trickier procedure, and the reason is, as you can see in this representation, we've got the census data up here. We've got the same problem with the Great Lakes that we saw earlier. So we've gone ahead and downloaded the natural Earth data. Here, so there we've got the ability to download states and provinces, internal administrative boundaries for different countries around the world. So we downloaded the states and provinces version of this, and this is what we got. So it does have, let me uncheck the census stuff again. It does have all of the states right here, but it also has these boundaries here. Now keep in mind that when you do this, we've still essentially got the same problem, right? So probably what happened is that the people that were making the natural Earth version basically took in the census tiger files. So we really have the same problem. So if you're trying to do this, be aware that we've got boundary issues there. So you may want to do something like download without the large lakes. We'll pause here while that comes in. Okay, so that data has come in. It's right here, and we'll bring that into ARC. So it looks something like this. We'll move that down to the bottom here for a second. So what we're getting is the difference between the original, where we still have the same Great Lakes problem that we had with the census data, and this one where all of those polygons have been excluded. So just a word to the wise to be a little careful about which one of those data layers you download. Okay, so the next step is we need to join this stuff together. Now you may have noticed that we've got all of the states here, which isn't really ideal. So maybe one of the things that we want to do is do a quick filter on this data to get rid of some of this stuff. So we can do a quick definition query and say, well, we really only want to keep things within the United States. We've got a couple of different ways to do that. Always a good idea to check the attribute table first. So if you scroll down, you can see that we've got a bunch of stuff here that maybe we're not super familiar with, but as we move down, we've got this ISO A2, which is a ISO standardized code at this administrative unit. And here we get into RS, which looks like probably Russia, and we can continue down until we get to the US. So we're going to filter on this ISO A2 on only things that have a US tag on it. So we can go back here, close the attribute table, and do a quick filter. And we're looking for ISO. Let's see if we can find it. Here we go, ISO A2. And if we're not sure, again, what we're looking for, we can say get unique values, so we get all of these. So we want to say ISO 2 equals US. So what that should do is strip out everything except the United States. So awesome. Keep in mind that the original extent of this is still pretty big, and we've got some outlying islands. So we'll have to be a little bit careful about that. For this assignment, you're actually only required to do the lower 48, so you could strip those out as well if you were interested. Okay, so we're going to do a quick join. So we're going to do join. Here's the tricky part. If we go back and take a look at our attribute data, we don't have a FIPS code that's readily, or an ISO code that's readily available. So if we went back to our census data and took a look at the attribute table, we've got GeoID, which is a unique identifier. So Wyoming is 56. We've got this state two-letter abbreviation, WY, and then we've got the name Wyoming. If we go to do a join here, there we go. We want to choose one of those that's going to work well. So let's open the attribute table and take a quick look and see what looks good. Well, this has part of it, right? So this has the two-letter abbreviation, but it also has this US dash in front of it. There's some ways that we can strip that off, but that's probably more trouble than it's worth at this point. But unfortunately, I don't see any FIPS code that's gonna do the trick. So we can quick look at sort on this field. So here's Wyoming. And nothing there that looks like a 56, at least not that I see yet. So we've got this one, code local, so that's US 56. Again, the 56 part would work, but it's got this US in front of it. And again, we could strip that off, but it's a little complicated. We can kind of keep looking here. There's another FIPS code, US 56, that we're not going to be able to use. So nothing that looks like it's going to work right out of the box. To make these work, again, has to be an exact match. So the only thing that's really going to match is going to be the name of the state. So we're going to want to use name to do this job, which is fine. There's no reason why you can't do that. I'm going to clear the selected features here before I do the join. There's no reason why you can't do name as the join field. You just have to be careful to make sure that all of the spellings and accents and spaces and whatnot are all the same. So we're going to join that to the state, and we're going to join that based on name 10, and we're going to keep all of the records. Again, we could do a validate join here, but we're going to roll the dice and see how lucky we get. Again, no pop-up boxes for a join. Sometimes ARC's pop-up boxes can take a little while to run, so once in a while you'll get stuck there waiting for a pop-up box to show up that will never appear. Okay, so it looks like all of that data came in pretty nicely. So here we've got DP 001, 0001, which again we had found out from our table description of our original census data. That's our total population right here. So we've got to kind of go back into the metadata and use a key to figure that out. But that's what we found. So we're all good to go. We can do a quick symbolization of that. So we're going to symbol by quantity. We're going to use this one and normalization again. Always be careful to do some kind of normalization. We can do percent of total for this one, which is going to map that as a percentage of the U.S. population, which is not a great way to do this, but not the worst way either. Area would probably be the best choice. So this looks okay. Let's pause this here. I wanted to talk about one final thing. And that is, when you do a join, keep in mind that the join is not permanent. So every time you start over again or sort of add those shapefiles, you're going to have to redo the join. If you want to avoid that, then the thing you want to do is save this as a map document. So you can say this GEOG 459.mxd. And now when I open this map document again, that join will be here. So here's my map document. Takes just a second to load. And there's all my data symbolized correctly and with the join still intact. On the other hand, if I start over again with a blank map and I add my administrative regions back in again, you can see that we're back to the beginning, and there's no join at all. We don't have any of that population data that we just found. So joins are not permanent. If you want to sort of make a temporary tie, be sure to save it as a map document. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.